Welcome to this presentation on Texas property tax appeal deadlines for 2026. If you own a home in Texas, your property taxes are based on the appraised value of your property. Each year, your county appraisal district sends a notice of appraised value. Under the Texas Property Tax Code, you have the right to protest that value before the Appraisal Review Board. The deadline is May 15th, or within 30 days after the notice is mailed, whichever is later. Also, the Texas Constitution and Tax Code Section 23.23 limit the annual increase in appraised value of a homestead to 10%, which is called the Homestead appraisal cap. Understanding these two rules can save you thousands of dollars. This presentation walks through every step. You can find the full Texas Property Tax Code on the Texas Comptroller's website at comptroller.texas.gov. The single most important date in the Texas property tax calendar is May 15th. Under Texas Tax Code Section 41.44, a property owner must file a written protest with the Appraisal Review Board no later than May 15th, or within 30 days after the notice of appraised value is delivered, whichever is later. As stated on the official Texas Comptroller website at comptroller.texas.gov, this deadline is strictly enforced. If you miss it, you forfeit your right to challenge your property's appraised value for that tax year. Section 41.44 says the protest must be in writing and filed with the Appraisal Review Board. Most counties accept protests online through their CAD website. Filing a protest freezes your right to appeal. As long as you file before the deadline, you preserve all your appeal rights up to district court. Even if you later settle with the appraisal district, filing the protest keeps your options open. Follow the QR code on this slide to read the full text of Tax Code Chapter 41. One of the most powerful protections for Texas homeowners is the 10% homestead appraisal cap under Texas Tax Code Section 23.23. Here's what the official rules state. The appraised value of a resident's homestead for tax purposes cannot increase by more than 10% per year, regardless of how much the market value goes up. This cap was enacted by Texas voters as a constitutional amendment. Section 23.23 says the appraised value may not exceed the lesser of the market value or the sum of 10% of last year's appraised value plus the value of new improvements. The cap only applies if you have a homestead exemption approved under Tax Code Section 11.13. Texas Proposition 2, approved in 2023, increased the mandatory homestead exemption from $40,000 to $100,000 for school district taxes. Combined with the 10% cap, this provides significant tax relief. Scan the QR code on this slide to access the official Tax Code Chapter 23. Texas Tax Code Section 41.41 gives every property owner the right to protest the appraised value before the Appraisal Review Board. The process is designed to be accessible without a lawyer. First, wait for your Notice of Appraised Value, which arrives in April. Check it for errors. Second, compare your appraised value to market evidence. Look at recent sales of comparable homes. Third, file your protest by May 15th. You can do this online in under 10 minutes. Fourth, attend the informal meeting with the appraisal district. Most cases settle here. Fifth, if unsatisfied, proceed to the formal ARB hearing. If you still disagree, you can appeal to district court under Tax Code Section 42.21 within 60 days. The QR code on this slide will take you to the Texas Comptroller's Protest Guide. If the informal meeting does not resolve your protest, your case goes to a formal hearing before the Appraisal Review Board. The ARB is a group of 3 independent citizens appointed by the county's administrative judge. Under Tax Code Section 41.45, the ARB must schedule your hearing within 90 days of receiving your protest. You have the right to present evidence, call witnesses, and be represented. You may appear in person, by telephone, or by written affidavit. You do not need an attorney. Bring comparable sales data, photographs, and any professional appraisal reports. The hearing typically lasts 15 to 30 minutes. The ARB must issue a written order within 15 days. If you disagree with the decision, you can appeal to district court. The QR code connects to the Texas ARB guide from the controller. Understanding the full property tax calendar helps you stay ahead of deadlines. January 1st is the appraisal date under Tax Code Section 23.01. In April, your county appraisal district mails the Notice of Appraised Value under Section 25.19. May 15th is the protest deadline under Section 41.44, the most critical date. From May through July, ARB hearings are conducted. By July 25th, the appraisal records must be approved. From August through October, taxing units adopt their tax rates. Tax bills are mailed in October, and payment is due by January 31st of next year. Mark your calendar now for the May 15th deadline. The QR code on this slide provides access to the Texas Bond Review Board's tax calendar resources. Property tax exemptions are the single most effective way to reduce your tax bill. Under Tax Code Chapter 11, homeowners can claim several exemptions. The General Homestead exemption under Section 11.13 reduces your appraised value by $100,000 for school taxes. If you are 65 or older or disabled, you get an additional $10,000 exemption, and your school taxes are frozen at the year you qualify. Disabled veterans can qualify for up to $12,000 in exemptions. Many counties also offer optional exemptions of up to 20%. As the Texas Comptroller states, applying for exemptions is free. You only need to file once, and it stays in effect as long as you own the home. Follow the QR code to access the official Homestead exemption information page. How much difference does protesting your appraisal make? Thousands of dollars. Consider a home in the Dallas-Fort Worth area valued at $500,000 with a proposed increase to $550,000. Without a protest, taxes at 2.5% would be $13,750 per year. With the 10% homestead cap, the taxable value might be around $495,000. A successful protest to market value of $500,000 saves about $1,250 per year. Over 5 years, that is over $6,000. Combined with the homestead cap, savings can be $2,000 to $4,000 per year. The savings compound because each year's cap is based on the previous year's appraised value. Over 10 years, consistent protesting can save $20,000 to $50,000. Scan the QR code to review the Texas Taxpayer Bill of Rights on the Comptroller's website. Here is your action plan. Step 1. File your homestead exemption if you have not already. It is free and retroactive. Without it, the 10% cap does not apply. Step 2. Watch for your appraisal notice in April. Open it immediately and check for errors. Step 3. File your protest by May 15th. You can do this online in under 10 minutes. You do not need evidence to file. Step 4. Prepare for your hearing with comparable sales and photos. Attend the informal meeting. Step 5. Appeal if necessary within 60 days of the ARB order. The Texas Comptroller's website at comptroller.texas.gov has all the forms and guidance you need. The QR code on this slide connects to the Texas Property Tax Relief information page. Do not wait. May 15th comes fast. Protect your rights and start today.